Hey guys, here is our social studies lesson for today. As you can see, I have a split screen of the Google Doc that I will be sending you for the notes for this section. I hope these are helping you when you're doing your Google quizzes for me at the end of each of these. So again, I will send this out. I just wanted you guys to see that you will have access to this after we are done with our discussion that will be on Google Classroom attached to this assignment. So, that being said, we're going to talk today about Latin America and how they gained their independence during this time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to it. By 1810, many people in Spain's colonies in the Americas were eager for independence. They had many reasons to be unhappy. Most people, even wealthy Creoles, had little or no say in government. In Latin America, the term Creole described people born to Spanish parents there. That's really important that you guys remember that term. They determined a role, they demanded a role in government. Opposition to Spain was also growing among Native Americans. Harsh rules kept Native Americans forever in debt, and all over Latin America, people were eager to be free of the Spanish. So this is just pretty much saying that people in Latin America were becoming more and more frustrated with Spain, and they demanded a role in the government. And also, Native Americans are starting to get, are starting to get more and more frustrated as well because they are in debt to Spain and will never be free from their harsh rules. So people are starting to look for ways to get out from underneath Spain. In this picture here, which we'll talk about him in just a second, this is a Mexican priest, Father Hidalgo, which you know I'm so good with names. He leads kind of the fight for Mexican freedom. So we'll talk about him in just a second here. A Mexican priest named Miguel Diaglo, there you go, called on Mexicans to fight for independence from Spain in 1810. Many Mexicans answered his call, and rebel forces won control of several provinces before Father Hidalgo was captured. In 1811, he was executed. So he was the first one who really got Mexicans together and demanded independence from Spain, won several provinces of the land, but eventually he was executed. So then after he dies, another priest, Jose Morales, took up the fight, and because he called for a program to give land to peasants, wealthy Creoles opposed him. So before long, Morales too was captured and killed by the Spanish. So he really wanted to give land to the peasants, and the Creoles opposed him. So he didn't last very long or get much support as much as Father Hidalgo. Slowly, though, Creoles began to join the revolutionary movement. In 1821, revolutionary forces led by Creoles won control of Mexico. A few years later, Mexico became a republic with its own constitution. So they eventually won their own freedom. In 1821, they took control of Mexico. Going on now to the next section, freedom from Spanish rule in South America. So in South America, too, a series of revolutions freed colonies from Spanish rule. The best-known revolutionary leader was Simón Bolívar. He became known as the liberator for his role in the Latin American wars of independence. I want you to remember his name, Bolívar. I want to look at this map over here. This is showing you colonies across South America freed from Spanish rule as a result of the revolution. Which European countries continued to exercise control on that continent? So if we look here, you can see Mexico, is in yellow, meaning that it was independent when it gained its independence. Great Colombia, Peru, Brazil. But you also see here in purple British, Dutch, and French. So they still, some European countries still had some control over some of the land in South America. But getting back to our discussion on the leader Bolivar, he came from a wealthy Creole family in Venezuela. As a young man, he took up the cause of Venezuelan independence, and Bolivar promised, "I will never allow my hands to be idle, nor my soul to rest until I've broken the shackles which chain us to Spain." So he rose to become a leader of the rebel forces, and he led an army from Venezuela over the high Andes Mountains into Colombia. There, he took the Spanish forces by surprise and defeated them in 1819. Soon after, Bolivar became president of the Independent Republic of Great Colombia. Now, this includes present day Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, and Panama, so quite a big area of land. What I want you to remember about Bolivar was he eventually was a leader of rebel forces and then took control and defeated Spain in 1819 and then became president. You can see a picture of him over here that he declared independence of Peru in 1821. I'm sorry, that's San Martin. I'm sorry, guys, it's the wrong person. I'm real tired. But we are going to talk about Jose Martin here in just a second. So, other independent nations emerged in Latin America. Jose San Martin led Argentina to freedom in 1816, and then he helped the people of Chile and Peru, and that was the picture I was just showing you of him. So he was a pretty important guy. In 1821, the peoples of Central America declared independence from Spain. 2 years later, they formed the United Provinces of Central America. So 1821 is a big year. Central America declares independence from Spain, and they form United Provinces of Central America, which is a big thing. So this included Nicaragua, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. And by 1825, Spain had lost all colonies in Latin America except for Puerto Rico and Cuba. So 1825 is a big date too. That's when the Spain loses all its colonies except for Puerto Rico and Cuba. The Portuguese colony of Brazil won independence peacefully. This is huge. When Brazilian revolutionaries demanded independence, Prince Pedro, son of the Portuguese king, joined their cause. So he joined the revolutionaries, and he became emperor of the new independent nation of Brazil in 1822. So that's a big thing. So there was no war with Portugal because the Prince of Portugal joined Brazilian cause, and because of that, they gained their independence in 1822. All right, so moving along, Spain's former colonies modeled their constitutions on that of the United States. So they wanted their constitution to be, they looked at the United States Constitution to kind of base what they would like. However, it didn't work out so well. So their experience after independence was very different from that of us, of the United States. So unlike the people of the 13 British colonies, the people of Latin America did not unite into a single country. In part, geography made unity difficult. Latin America covered a much larger area than the British colonies. Thick rainforests and mountains such as high, rugged Andes acted as barriers to travel and communication. And also the Spanish colonies were spread out over a huge area, so they had several separate republics formed. So what they're saying here is they were not able to get all the countries united into one single country for many reasons. Latin America is a much bigger area, and the geographic features such as the rainforests and mountains made travel and communication very difficult in between those different countries. So because of that, republics formed. Which then leads to unstable governments, guys. So the new republics had a hard time setting up stable governments. Under Spanish rule, the colonists had gained little or no experience in self-government. And because of that, powerful leaders took advantage of the turmoil that's happening to get control. And then as a result, the new nations were often unable to achieve democratic rule. So that's basically saying because they didn't really have a lot of experience of self-government, leaders, probably not for the best reasons, took advantage of this and got control. And because of that, democracy was never really established there during that time. So now what I'd like you to do, you're going to love me for this, is in Google Classroom, there is a YouTube link to Crash Course History going over all of this. There's also a Google Doc that goes along with the video. So as you're watching the video, please complete that Google Doc and then send that Google Doc to me as part of your assignment today. Our class discussion weekly meeting time is going to be Wednesdays at 2. And we'll do that through Google Meet like we did last Friday. Hoping I get to see you all on Wednesdays. I'm missing you guys. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me and let me know. And I will try my hardest to get back to you as soon as I can. Hope you guys are all well, and I hope to see you guys Wednesday. Have a great day, guys.